Hey guys, welcome back to Orion's Corner. I figured I'd give this place a nickname since how I spend most of my time here. Gonna talk about my new shock mods today. And the main reason for talking about it is because a lot of guys are complaining that their forks feel harsh. And I'm gonna explain to you why my new shock mods have anything to do with that. So, the RXB mimics a 2013 to 15 KTM chassis. Swing arm linkage, all that stuff. I have KTM stuff right over here on the shelf. If you were to take this dog bone off of a 2015 KTM 250SX, it is the same as the Orion, minus the size of the bolt hole. That's how they get away with making this stuff. I think they make these subtle changes and but anyways, so unfortunately the KTM parts will not swap over because of the size of the bolts. Um, it would be cool to try a white power shock in one of these, but that's not going to happen. So, the rear shock on the RXB starts out life as 490 millimeters from eye to eye. What I have came up with was I machined some collars and some spacers to internally lengthen the shock 8 millimeters, which doesn't sound like much. But that 8 millimeters increases the travel by 1 inch. 1 inch at the rear wheel to the fender to the ground, however you want to measure it. What that 1 inch does is it raises the back of the bike up. So originally, at the 490 millimeters, the bike rides low in the back naturally. But like I say, it's using KTM geometry. So when you take that geometry and you change it, well, other stuff has to change. So what that does, with the bike riding low in the back, the forks, which we call rake, the forks are at a steeper angle, meaning the front tire is farther out. And when the front tire is out like that, the first thing that's going to happen when the front wheel hits bumps is the forks are going to flex before they compress. So if you can just picture in your mind the bike squatting, going over the bumps, the front tire is always going to slap, basically deflect off the bumps because it has a hard time compressing because the forks are too steep. So by raising the back of the bike up, it straightens the forks out to more of an up and down position. And you'd be very shocked on how plush this thing rides with that 1 inch difference. The harshness is completely gone. They're definitely more in tune to clicker adjustments. And the back of the bike works just as well. The 1 inch sitting on it wise, I was touching flat footed, just barely flat footed. I'm not very tall. But now I'm on the balls of my feet. My heels don't touch the ground at all. But the bike rides so much nicer. It turns better because now rider weight is more positioned over the front. And it actually feels very nimble. And I didn't change anything else, so that 1 inch, I didn't even adjust my chain from the last time I rode it. So nothing on the bike has changed from the last time I rode it other than that. And it turns better. It rides so much nicer, and you gain a little bit of stuff. Otherwise, you gain a little bit of ground clearance. I was able to run about, I forget what it was, I didn't write it down, but I'm pretty sure it was like 5 more millimeters of sag. So, that keeps the bike up a little bit more. And, it's definitely proven to be one of my most favorite suspension mods to this bike yet, as far as the handling goes. And, at first it was kind of tricky to figure out how to do what I did. But once I was able to machine some parts to get it to where I wanted it to be, and now I have a bunch of extras. So I just wanted to touch base on that. I know a lot of guys were still complaining about the forks being harsh, and I do believe I have the cure. And you know, if anybody's interested in something like that, you know, just reach out like you have been. And I appreciate you guys watching all these videos, and I appreciate all the kind comments that I get on my stuff on the RXB Facebook page and on my YouTube videos. And you know, I couldn't be more happier than dealing with a bunch of good guys that I've talked to and met along the way. And I'll talk to you soon. Keep an eye out for my next video. It's going to be all about timing and ignition in advance, and it should be interesting, and it's going to make the bike even better. Thanks for watching.